There is a force we all must face, one that cannot be outrun or fought. It rises like the Kraken, a mythic terror that emerges from the depths, inescapable and overwhelming. The Kraken is not just a creature of the sea, but a symbol of life's greatest trials, the ones we cannot escape: death, loss, and the inevitability of change. These moments rise without warning, tearing through our lives with a ferocity that leaves us gasping for air. And yet, it is in these moments that we are invited to a deeper understanding, not of control, but of surrender. Manifesting, so often misunderstood, does not mean bending the universe to our will. It does not mean that every wish will be granted or that pain will be avoided. True manifestation is not about control. It is about alignment. It is about bringing our hearts, our desires, and our actions into harmony with God's will. And sometimes, God's will includes storms we cannot calm and losses we cannot replace. The Kraken of life does not come to destroy us, but to remind us of who holds ultimate authority over the sea. Imagine a solitary sailor navigating an endless ocean. The waters are calm, the horizon stretches infinitely, and the sky is clear. But deep below the surface, a great shadow moves, a presence that has always been there, waiting. The sailor knows the Kraken will rise one day. It is not a matter of if, but when. And when it does, no amount of preparation, strength, or strategy will stop it. This is the reality of life's greatest trials. They come not because we are weak or unworthy, but because they are part of the human journey. No one escapes the Kraken. When the beast finally rises, the sailor does not fight. The Kraken is too vast, too powerful, its tentacles stretching beyond the limits of sight. To fight would be futile, a denial of reality itself. Instead, the sailor stands at the helm, hands steady, heart resolute. This is apatheia, a state of serene acceptance, not of defeat, but of trust. The sailor does not surrender to the Kraken, but to the will of the one who created both the sailor and the beast. The storm rages, the sea churns, and the Kraken roars, but the sailor is unmoved, anchored by a faith that goes deeper than fear. This is the essence of manifesting in alignment with God's will. It is not about shaping the world to our desires, but about shaping our hearts to God's plan. It is about trusting that even in the face of the Kraken, when the loss is too great, the pain too unbearable, there is a purpose beyond what we can see. Manifestation is not a magic wand. It is a posture of surrender, a willingness to say, not my will, but yours be done. The Kraken's tentacles crash against the ship, splintering the wood, pulling the sailor into the depths. This is the moment of greatest fear, the moment when everything seems lost. And yet, even in the depths, there is peace. The sailor's breath slows, their mind quiets. They do not thrash against the waves or claw for the surface. Instead, they let go. They let the sea take them, trusting that whatever lies beyond, whether life or death, joy or sorrow, is held in God's hands. This is not an easy truth. To accept the inescapable is to confront the very things we fear most: the loss of loved ones, the end of dreams, the inevitability of our own mortality. It is to stand before the Kraken and say, I am not in control, but I am at peace. This peace is not born of ignorance or denial, but of trust. It is the trust that God's will is not always what we want, but it is always what we need. The story of Job in Scripture is a powerful example of this truth. Job faced his own Kraken, a torrent of loss that stripped him of everything he held dear: his wealth, his family, his health, all taken in an instant. Job's first instinct was to cry out, to question, to demand answers. And yet, as his story unfolds, Job reaches a place of profound acceptance. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord, he says. Job does not deny his pain, but he does not let it define him. Instead, he finds peace in the unshakable truth that God is sovereign. Like Job, the sailor in our story is not spared from loss. The Kraken takes the ship, the sails, the provisions, everything that gave the sailor a sense of security. But what remains is something deeper. The sailor's soul, unbroken and unyielding. In the depths, they find a light, not from the surface, but from within. It is the light of trust, the glow of a heart aligned with the will of the Creator. This alignment does not come easily. It requires a letting go, not just of the things we fear to lose, but of the illusion that we were ever in control to begin with. Manifesting in alignment with God's will means releasing our grip on the outcomes we desire and opening our hands to receive whatever God chooses to give. Sometimes what God gives is beautiful, a calm sea, a gentle breeze, a safe harbor. But other times what God gives is the Kraken. The Kraken does not come to destroy us, but to transform us. Its arrival forces us to confront the depths of our faith, to decide whether we will cling to our fears or trust in God's plan. It is a refining fire, a crucible that strips away everything but the essence of who we are. And in that essence, we find strength we did not know we had, peace we could not have imagined, and a deeper understanding of the one who holds all things together. As the sailor rises from the depths, they are not the same. The ship is gone, the ocean vast and empty, but the sailor's heart is full. They no longer fear the Kraken, for they have faced it and found peace. They no longer fear the storm, for they have learned that even the wildest waves are under God's command. The sailor floats, not in despair, but in surrender, knowing that wherever the currents take them, they are held. This is the paradox of the Kraken. It feels like the end, but it is actually the beginning of a deeper faith, a stronger trust, a more profound peace. It is in the depths that we discover the height of God's love, the breadth of his mercy, and the depth of his wisdom. The Kraken is not the enemy, it is the messenger, the herald of transformation. When we manifest in alignment with God's will, we learn to see the Kraken not as a threat, but as a teacher. We learn to embrace the storms, the losses, the trials, not because they are easy, but because they are necessary. Necessary for our growth, for our faith, for our journey toward the divine. We learn to say, Lord, I do not understand, but I trust. I do not see the way, but I follow. I do not hold the power, but I rest in yours. The sailor drifts, carried by the currents, until they reach a new shore. It is not the shore they imagined, not the safe harbor they prayed for, but it is the place they were meant to be. The Kraken is gone, the sea is calm, and the sky is clear. The sailor steps onto the sand, their heart filled with gratitude, not for the absence of trials, but for the presence of God in the midst of them. And so it is with us. We all face the Kraken, the inescapable trials of life that test our faith and challenge our resolve. But we do not face them alone. We face them with the assurance that God is with us, that his will is perfect, and that his love is unchanging. Manifesting is not about avoiding the Kraken. It is about trusting the one who created it. It is about aligning our hearts with God's will, even when it leads us into the storm. And it is about finding peace, not in the absence of pain, but in the presence of divine purpose. The Kraken rises and we stand, not because we are strong, but because he is. The storm rages and we endure, not because we are unshaken, but because he holds us. The depths call and we surrender, not to the sea, but to the creator of the sea. And in that surrender, we find not defeat, but victory. Victory over fear, over doubt, over the illusion of control. Victory in the truth that we are loved, we are held, and we are never alone.